What I'd like to talk about here in this video is dependence versus independence. When I talk about dependence versus independence, I'm talking about real dependence and real independence. What do you hear a lot of American women say nowadays? I'm a strong, independent woman. You know, it's what they, what they like to say all the time. I'm a strong, independent woman. Look at me. I got my career. I got my kids. Oh, I got 2 cars. Oh. Yeah, but you're living on borrowed money. All Americans, including the elites, are living on borrowed money. Everybody is at the mercy of the banking system. Okay? If you don't know this, then you don't have any business conducting a business or starting a business for that matter. Because to conduct an effective business strategy, a zero failure type of business, you need to definitely understand the system first. So the first step is to understand the system. Second step is to understand how the system functions. It is just like studying an organism, okay? The structure, understand the structure of the system, and then the functions. It's structure and function. That's what it is, okay? You need to see the similarities and the differences in the economy and what's happening in front of you. Being able to compare past, present, and future and come up with verifiable conclusions. Then you conduct your experiments, your research, try things out without being so bogged down on mistakes. So this is where schooling, this is where college, high school, and grade school get it wrong. In business, okay, I have done several businesses in the past. Particularly, I had 2 seller accounts, active seller accounts online. I even had 4 at one point in time. Had like 4 seller accounts online. I do all the things like shipping, listing, all of it. Taking the photos using a really good camera. I purchased an expensive camera before, and I used it for my personal purpose, and it served its purpose. I did make over, a surplus. I made something like 8 or 9 times what I invested in the business. So, hey, I think it's worth it. And the only reason why I stopped this was I got interested in college, okay? Part of my blue pill sim conditioning was I was, tricked into, go to college, do this, do that. But get this, if I'm already good, I'm already making more money in my online business before. Like, why should I still go there, okay? But my dumbass before, when I was still a blue pill simp, back in 20-something, I think like 2015 or something like that, I was making good money with my online businesses. And then, boom, I got peer pressured into going to college, dropping my freaking business, like closing them. Okay, I closed my accounts, eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, and there's another one that I forgot the name of the website, but I had another seller account somewhere. I forgot the name of that site, but I did, sell some things there that, actually made money from. Yeah, but anyway, dependence and independence, okay? the title of this video, Dependence and Independence. So me conducting a business, okay? So here's how bad it is, how bad society is, okay? So the people that raised me, you know, they saw me making money online. They saw my success, okay, right there. And I even told them, you know, I don't think this college thing is for me because I'm making more money here. Like, what money am I making in college, okay? I'm not earning any, you know, money from college, but I'm earning 4 or even 5 times the regular salary from 4 of my seller businesses, okay? And it's not hard to conduct them because it's online, okay? So, man, you know, I did have an inventory, but the thing is, once you found, you know, and I tried this too, like, it's not just this incident, okay? It's not just this one time that, you know, that they tried to pull me down whenever I'm succeeding at something. It was also like several things when I was a kid. I kind of remember like what happened when I was a kid, you know. Okay, for example, I give you a real life story. Okay, I'll give you like several stories right here. You know, okay. So when I was a kid, right? When I was a kid, I figured out a way of what's this? I figured out a way of like mixing things, mixing herbal medicines, okay? I took some leaves or something like that. It's they told me it's like herbal things, and I talked to some old Filipino dude, and he told me, hey, if you lack energy, you know, use this. And, you know, I was always into like, you know, since the Philippines was poor and, you know, I didn't lack energy or anything, but it kind of like fascinated me because back in the 90s and early 80s, I was watching Kung Fu movies, right? So the Jackie Chan, the Bruce Lee, all that stuff. And I was like 5, 6, 8 years old, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, you know. I saw the master chew on some leaves and he got stronger. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I wonder if that's true. I mean, you know, that's the only reality that I knew back then. Because I was like 5, 6 years old, man. I was like young. I mean, what the hell do I know, you know? And then one time I went to the farm with my friends. I was running around and, you know, catching some spiders and things like this, and flying kites and things like that. And, you know, it's typical kid stuff, man. And then I saw this old dude. He was like, you know, like, man, like in my imaginative mind, I'm like, you know, the guy must be a master of Kung Fu or something like that. I mean, you know, typical fantasy kind of, you know, imaginative kind of typical INFJ kid, you know. So I'm like, oh, maybe this dude like knows some potions of some kind or some leaves that I could chew on that, you know, give me some energy or something like that. And so this guy pointed me out to some coffee leaves, okay, guava leaves. It was like, I remember it's like some guava leaves, mix some guava leaves, like 3 or 5 of them, and then 2 or 3 coffee leaves, and then add a little bit of sugar, and then the other leaf is like a mango leaf or something like that, and boil them. Okay, boil them on a stove, and then add the sugar and then filter the thing out so it's like a tea, basically a tea, and sip on it, right? And just take like a mug of it like once a day. And I started doing it. Like, you know, I started, since I'm not allowed to use the stove or anything like that, the gas stove, I built my own fire on the dirty kitchen, what we call the dirty kitchen in the Philippines, and I started mixing these substances. And lo and behold, you know, I got scolded. They were like, "Oh, you're gonna burn yourself, blah blah." They're like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Who told you this? You know, who told you to make this, blah blah." I told them some old guy, like, you know, this and that, and, you know, they were like, "Oh, you're young. You're not supposed to do that, like, blah blah. That's dangerous. That's, you know." But what I found weird was they do agree with the guy that these leaves are medicinal, they have medicinal properties. That the people that raised me agree that, you know, they themselves, they even use these leaves, especially banana leaves. I mean, not banana leaves, but guava leaves, into curing or healing. You know, if you had like what do you call this? Like a really bad wound, right? And you wanted to rinse it out so you can avoid infection. You can boil some guava leaves and actually dab a little bit of the water in there, you know, while it's warm and things like that. And it's a disinfectant, okay? It's an antibacterial, antiviral substance, okay? Substance in the guava leaves. You can look that up. It's an ancient, you know, technique in cleansing, okay? Cleansing wounds. So I find it weird that I'm like I question in my mind, and that's why I remember this stuff. Like, you know, like, why is it that these, you know, these people like discourage me from, you know, finding things out about nature, keep forcing me to, you know, to use something man-made and things like this, you know, while it's already here. Like, this thing is free, the freaking leaves is free, it grows in the freaking tree. I go outside, just pick it up, okay, and then it gives me a little bit of energy. It's possibly from the coffee leaves, okay. But the thing is, it's, you know, herbal remedy. It's been used in the Philippines and mostly Southeast Asia and China successfully for the longest time. There's even a culture of what they call hilot in the Philippines. It's like a hilot, is like a massage, but they use some herbs, and they would like put it on your skin. You know, if you have like aches and pains, you know, they would mix some herbs, and some people, they're like, oh, it's a quack doctor or something like that, but it's been used for a long time, okay. You can do your research and actually learn about these things. But, you know, since I was discouraged with my narcissistic aunts, you know, I didn't really learn anything of it, and I just like really threw it away. So another story. Okay, let me give you another story. There's many of them. I'm like trying to pick which one I would, with the best, you know, the best stories that I can share with you. Because there's so many times that, you know, they encourage dependence as opposed to independence, okay? And a man is supposed to be independent, right? An adult is supposed to be independent. That's the goal of adulthood, you know, to not be dependent on your parents, to not be dependent on the people that you used to live with. So they are not stressed from you, okay? So you're living your life for yourself, okay? Maturity is expected on an adult. It doesn't matter what culture it is, okay? But even in the Philippines, especially in China and, you know, places like that, they expect you to mature early, okay? Become independent quickly. Because of poverty and stuff like that. But, you know, okay, a good story. Okay, here's possibly the best description of this. Like, you know, when I was trying to learn how to ride a bike, okay, like a bicycle. So learning how to ride a bicycle was challenging to me. Not only is because I was short back then, and also the bicycle that I was using was quite high. Okay, I couldn't put my foot on the ground, and I couldn't adjust the seat because the seat is kind of like welded into the bicycle. So what I did was I would just hold on to the wall. Okay, try to get my balance from the wall. And what I remember what they did to me was the reason why I fell so much. I had like cuts and scrapes. I probably freaking twisted my ankles and things like this. And back then I couldn't remember everything that happened, but I remember being, you know, having cuts and scrapes, and they were like making fun of me. They're like, "Oh, like all my tall friends are like already, biking and stuff like. But I was short back then because I was like malnourished and shit like this. They weren't fitting me right. So, you know, the only way I figured out how to ride the bicycle was when they stopped pushing me. Okay, and then I researched this. Like learning how to ride a bicycle and things like that is the learner has to start with the balance. He or she needs to sense the balance, the relationship of his human body with gravity itself. So the fact that I couldn't, because the seat is too high and I couldn't like adjust it, I couldn't put my foot on the ground. So I don't have any point of reference of like balancing. Like my point of balance is already unbalanced, which is the bike, which is the bicycle. Okay. So in less than 15 minutes, I learned how to bike like this. And what I did was I planned my strategy out. Like one time my narc aunts, they left. They went to town to buy some things. And what I did was I pulled out the bike. Okay, even if I know I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna fall again. My cuts haven't been healed yet. I get this, they never treated me. It's just like no medicine, no nothing. It's just like fucking raw elbows, raw knees, and things like this. I don't really care. I don't really care because I'm adopted and shit like this. So they could care less if I freaking fall, if I break something. So they're like, oh, we'll be back. We're gonna go to town and shit like this. So what happened was they went to town, and I was left there. I was like balancing myself, and what I did was I started pedaling by myself. I started to sense the gravity of the earth, my relationship to the gravity of the earth. I started pedaling slowly. Okay. And then lo and behold, less than 15 minutes later, I was biking around the house, and like they're like, how the hell did this guy, they're like, oh, how come nobody's pushing you? Because the way they taught me how to ride a bike was they kept pushing me. Because if you push somebody on a bike, he's gonna go forward for like a certain amount of distance, and they're like, oh, that's how you learn how to ride a bicycle. But that's not the case. Scientifically speaking, that's not the case. That's like the worst way to learn how to ride a bicycle, because you don't have any your balance. You're not getting your balance from the earth. You're getting your balance from the one who pushed you. Okay, that's not a good way to get balance, because that's artificial balance. Okay, so, and you can talk. I can talk about levers and physics and things like that, but that's not a video for this. Okay, it'll be another discussion. So yeah, it's like that. It's dependence and independence. It's what I notice with these toxic females. But the ones who raised me is like a constant. The way they're teaching me like adulthood is like, or like learning skills and shit like that, is like dependence. Always depend on somebody. Always depend on somebody. Always look to somebody. Oh, this guy's good with this. Oh, that girl's good with that. It's like authority. It's like bowing down, bending over backwards to somebody doing it. That's stupid, man. It's learning. It's like if you're learning something, okay, and you have a teacher, okay. It's common. It's of course you're gonna respect the teacher, and isn't it because you need something from that teacher, right? But what they're doing is like over exaggerated kissing ass, covert manipulative tactics. Like they kiss ass to the fucking teacher, man. And I remember them fucking bringing fucking saying compliments and shit like that, like trying to buy the teachers like fucking dinner or some shit like that, or like giving them gifts or some shit, offering them fucking discount right here, like this person knows this, I know this person knows that. I'm like, it sounds freaking ridiculous, man. It's finessing. This is about the finessing of the system. So that's how demons thrive, man. That's how this freaking physical realm is. It's not a fair fight. You see what I'm saying? That's why I told you, don't fight fair, man. They do not obey the rules. They make the rules, but they expect you to follow them, but they themselves don't follow the rules. Okay? This is why they say it's not what you know, it's who you know. That is the most corrupt statement ever said, and they do say this in public. Meditate on that, Peace out.